One of my favorite new animes has just been renewed for a second season. That's right, Solo Leveling will return winter 2024.
Cause I've been living life right like I could just die any minute. Going for a ride down the side.
Hi everyone, my name is Jacob Berry. Welcome to my vidcast where I talk about all things pop culture. Be sure to like, share, subscribe, ring that little bell, and of course, if you'd like to support the channel, check out my locals. The link is in the description. All right, so for those of you unfamiliar, Solo Leveling started out as a novel written by a Korean writer who goes by Chugong, and it became a webtoon with art from the late, great Dubo Redice studio. It's a shame he passed away because he was an amazing artist. Then they started publishing it as what they call a manhwa, so not a manga, which is Japanese. Manhwa is a Korean comic book, and they started importing it into the United States, and I picked up the first volume and I loved it. I never looked back. I thought it's fantastic, and this is number 8. It follows this young man named Jin-woo, who in his world, these supernatural gates open and they lead to dungeons, and if you defeat the dungeon boss, they close, and you want to close them because then the creatures can escape. They call it a dungeon break, and the creatures will run rapid. And when the gates appeared, humans also awakened to abilities, and Jin Woo is one of the weakest ranked. But then he gets caught in a double dungeon where his teammates abandon him and he is seemingly killed, but then he reawakens and he's got even more power. And every time he fights, he upgrades, and he's the only one who has the ability to upgrade. Some of them have a reawakening where they get more powerful, but they still stay at the base where they reawaken. Jinwoo continues to advance through what it's called the system, and he perceives it as a computer program, even though it's kind of supernatural. But that's why it's called solo leveling. In some markets, it's also called only I level up. Now, A1 Pictures, which does all kinds of amazing anime, including Sword Art Online, they adapted it into a 12 episode anime, and they produced it. It was phenomenal. Now, I will say the teaser when they first announced it was terrible. The artwork was bad, the images were too grainy, but then they released the full trailer, which was really good, and I was hooked after that. It has been released in the United States through Crunchyroll, who also does an English dub. I will have a full review of season 1 very soon on my website, StudioJakeMedia.com. So head over there, subscribe with your email. It's free, there are no ads, and you can read. I've got a ton of movie and film reviews there. So the second season has been announced, and I am very, very excited. I have loved the first season. It has been fantastic. It has been well written, well directed, well animated. There was some controversy because one of the animators told a because it's a Japanese company making a Korean or adapting a Korean work, and one of the animators told a very crude and rude joke, so he got fired. As a result, season 1, episode 8 got delayed, and they replaced him, fortunately, and the series goes on. So apparently, in Asian markets, they're not calling it season 2, they're calling it Solo Leveling Part 2: Arise from the Shadows. So I'm pretty excited because the first arc is basically Jin Woo getting used to the system. He gets betrayed not once, but several times by other hunters because they think he's so weak that he can just be tossed aside. They basically use him for human bait and all this, and but then he advances even more. Now, with season 2, Arise from the Shadows, that's what they're subtitling it. That leads me to think they're going to go right into him getting his new ability because he gets reclassified. When he first gets awakened with his powers, he's an assassin type, even as a weak hunter. But then he gets a chance to get his job title changed, and he does, and he becomes a necromancer, and it gives him the ability to create shadow beings of his defeated foes if he chooses. And that is a really cool part of the story. I can't wait to see what happens next, and I can't wait to see it created through an anime. There are so many amazing animes coming out. I've heard that One Piece is going to get a remake. I've heard that Naruto is going to get a remake, not to mention all the cool original ones that are coming out. Anime is where it's at. Hollywood better look out because anime is coming, and all of us who are big time fans, we've been fans for years now. We're done with sort of the indoctrination that Hollywood is pushing through some of our favorite titles, including the ones behind me. But we're looking up to where anime is, and I am so stoked to see what is coming next. Buckle up, it's going to be a great year to be an anime fan.
Cause I've been living life right like I could just die